Hello, hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. I hope you all are well. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've taken the XT250 out. It's a beautiful November day. I thought this is a perfect time to do it. So we're going to go for a little ride on the XT250, head out into the desert, and enjoy some of this awesome late fall weather. I've been spending the majority of my time outfitting my DR650. It's taken some time to get things the way I want them. So I've been neglecting my other bikes like the 300L and the XT250. So I think I'm where I want to be with the DR. And I need to spend a little time with these bikes. So today we're stretching the legs on the XT250. And when it's funny, you know, you ride a certain bike for a set amount of time, and then when you switch to another bike, it's like a completely different feel. It's kind of crazy, man. Like the minute I got on the XT, it's like, whoa, I was aware of like the suspension and how small the bike was. And when I started riding, it was like how slow the bike was. It's drastically different than the TR650. There's no doubt about that, and I gotta admit, for me anyway, the XT250 shines brightest off-road. That's right. Now I know people regularly use these bikes for commuting to work and riding across country and all that other stuff, but for me, I think the XT250, at least my XT250, shines the brightest when I get this baby on the dirt. All right, now we're talking on a dirt road. And if you don't know, my XT250 wears Tusk D Sport tires, and they work very well for this little bike. A little bit of on-road travel, and then the majority of his off-road, they do just fine. It's a good pairing, I believe. It's a good tire, it's a good bike. Can't go wrong with that pairing. So if you have an XT250 and you're still on your stock tires and you're curious about what you should transition into, I guess first thing you should consider what you're going to be riding in the majority of the time, you know, versus the percentage of on off-road tires, you know, how knobby you want the tire and such. But the Tusk D Sport is a really good balance for that. Well, for me anyway. So I stick to those tires on my XT, and it works out perfectly. It's pretty foreign being back on the XT250. It's weird. I get used to it pretty quick though. I made a couple changes recently. I got rid of my Acerbis handguards that were on this bike. They're not bad handguards. They're not awesome handguards either. For a minute I was intrigued with them, and I had them on pretty much all my bikes, but I've since transitioned to the Bark Busters, and I'm a lot happier with those handguards. So I just I removed the Bark Buster handguards from my DR650 because I swapped out the handlebars from a 7/8 to a 1 1/8 bar, and the XT250 comes stock with the 7/8 bar, so I was able just to easily transition the Bark Busters onto this bike. So it fit perfectly. Works with the 7/8 bar. It's the universal fitting Bark Busters. These are the Storm set, and I also added the end weights to the bike to help with vibration while I'm riding on the road, on the asphalt that is. So that's new, and I swapped out my brake lever. I got a little 3-finger front brake lever now, because my stock lever was like it was all pent out like that from dropping the bike so much, you know. I randomly crashed this bike here and there, intermittently, because whenever I do ride this, I tend to take more chances on it. It gets me into trouble. There's no doubt about that. It's definitely confidence inspiring, so I tend to break things more on this bike. Anyway, so I've got some plans for the old XT here. I've got a new tail rack I need to install, as well as some panniers. I just haven't had the time to get to it. I've been spending all my time with the DR, and then I have other channels that are also taking up a lot of my time right now, so I'll get there eventually. But one thing I definitely want to do is, after swapping out the handlebars and adding the riser on my DR650, I definitely want to do that on my XT250. And I'm thinking I want to go with 2-inch risers, to be honest with you. What do you guys think? Those of you that have put some risers on your handlebars in your XT250, have you gone 1-inch, 2-inch? Let me know in the comments, because I'm leaning towards 2 inches just because I'm actually fairly comfortable standing on this bike, and my height is 5 foot 10 inches. But if I'm going to be standing for a long amount of time, I'm still kind of squunched over here. I feel 2 inches would probably be the sweet spot. Anyway, I've got that planned whenever I have the funds to do it. And I'm still thinking about the seat swap. I've got the Airhawk pad on the XT currently that helps with the abysmal stock seat. And I'm wondering if I went to another seat, if it's going to impact my standing. Because I don't think I want to go with the seat concepts. I think I probably want to go, I think it's the Corbin seat, whenever I have the funds to do this, which could be it could be a minute. But what I'm wondering is if the seat is so wide that it'll impact my standing while riding. That's what happened on my DR650 when I did the seat swap on that. It pretty wide to where it's like it's rubbing into my legs now when I stand on the dirt. It's not a deal breaker, but it's slightly annoying. However, the trade-off, since I do high mileage riding on that bike, it's worth it since I spend a lot of time sitting. Anyway, those are some upcoming plans I have for the XT. Like I said, if I ever have the spare change to do it. All right, we're gonna look for some secondary dirt roads to explore today. Some dirt roads I have yet to encounter or ride down. I know there's a few more out here. It's a big desert. Let's see what we can find. There's our friend the side-by-side. Careful with these cats. Ooh, there we go. We're gonna take that corner fishtail and, yeah, Bubba. There's one more. Let's wait and see. He's either waving at me. Nope, there's one more. Okay. Yep. Not today. Don't want to meet one of those guys on the curve, man, let me tell you. Well, we'll just meander down this track and see where it takes us. Maybe it'll loop back to the main drag. I'm under the impression it will. Maybe it'll go to those power lines. remains to be seen. Okay, well, what do we got here? Scenic spot, except for those power lines. They could go, but you know. Oh, what is that? Mule deer? I know the camera's not picking that up, but a bit of chunkiness there. I can dig that. That's the kind of stuff the XT loves, right here. Riding this. Oh yeah. You know, I might also say that another place an XT250 would shine is in the city, like a big city, and you're using it to get around. That's where an XT250 would also shine. And I say this because within the last year, I spent some time both in Mexico City, Chicago, and Lima, Peru, all very big cities. And one thing I noticed, especially in Mexico and Peru, is the majority of the bikes people were riding in those cities, I should say, were smaller bikes like 250s and 150s. So, not saying that the bigger bikes wouldn't be good there, but being able to navigate just the god-awful traffic, having a smaller bike like a 150 or a 250 like this, you can just zip through all of that stuff. What do we got here? A little corral. Interesting. Yeah, so that's another place that I think the XT would be very, very efficient at. Oh, this is the main drag. Huh. All right. Man, look at this tree. Whoa. Whoa, someone's got a recliner out here. Look at that. That's a pretty gnarly cottonwood tree there. Oh, looks like someone's home over there too. Got the recliner and everything. Who's living large out in this spot? I've never been out here before. Wow. All right, back to the main drag, but that track was pretty fun, so I'm going to go back and do it the other direction. There was a couple dips that, well, I felt I got through just a little sloppily. I wanted to go have another shot at them really deep, so you're going to have to bear with me as I go back to do a little more skill building, I should say. Wow, there's some really deep ditches to get through. All right, here we go. There's some good ones in here, man. Let me tell you. That one, no. Here we go. I think there was one really deep one. Is this it? I think this is it. Oh, it's a proper ditch there. Well, it's not pretty, but I'm getting up them. Oh my goodness. I'd be a little hesitant to do those on my DR650. I know I wouldn't have a problem, but it's back to the size and weight of the bike that kind of, oh, I didn't go down this road, did I? That lend to this behavior and risk-taking, I should say. I just feel a little more confident doing it on this little nimble bike here. That's my story, folks. All right, we are back on the main drag again. Very nice. Well, that's awesome. A lot of fun little tracks out here to get sucked into. It's been a great ride. Yeah, I just need to get back on the XT250 and give myself a little reminder of why I love this bike. Just straight up awesome. Well, folks, appreciate you joining me on the ride. I got lots more content on the way. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It is free. We will see you next time. You all stay safe out there. D-Rock out. Adios.